Some foods are so much more than just, well, food. They're like a story you can taste. Have you ever had a dish like that? Something simple, but it carries the entire story of a place, a season, a family. Today, we're going to dive into one of those stories, one that's held in a humble bowl of rice noodles.
So take a look at this. It might seem like just a simple bowl of soup, right? But for people from a certain part of southern China, this is everything. This is the flavor of home. It's the taste of a fresh harvest, it's the sound of a crackling wood stove, and it's the feeling of a mother's care, all packed into one single bite.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? That's the question we're exploring today. How does a simple food like this become a vessel, carrying a culture's deepest feelings across generations and even across entire oceans?
All right, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is this food that holds so much meaning? Well, it's called He Tai, and it comes from a place called Kaiping in China's Guangdong province, and its story, as you might guess, begins right in the rice paddies. At its core, He Tai, sometimes called silver needle noodles because of its shape, is incredibly simple. I mean, we're talking just two ingredients, sticky rice flour from the brand new harvest and some hot water. But from that simplicity, something truly profound begins to unfold.
So let's talk about how that basic flour gets transformed. The magic here isn't hidden in some complicated recipe with a million steps. No, it's all in the hands that shape it. It's an art of pure simplicity.
The whole process feels more like a ritual than just cooking. It starts with mixing that rice flour with hot water, and the key is the dough has to be worked while it's still warm and pliable. Then each and every noodle is rolled by hand, which gives it that signature tapered shape. They're carefully laid in a steamer and then cooked over an old-school wood-fired stove, which fills the whole house with this amazing, pure sweet scent of rice. And here you can see that very first step. Honestly, it doesn't look like much yet, does it? Just a humble mound of flour and water. But this warm dough, right here, this is the foundation. It's holding all the promise and potential of the harvest that just came in.
Now this is where it gets really special. Look at that, you can just see the human touch. Every single noodle is formed individually. This isn't coming out of a machine, all identical and perfect. This is food that's been touched and shaped and given its character by a person, usually a mother or a grandmother.
And here's what you get after about 10 minutes in the steamer. The noodles are transformed. They become soft and wonderfully chewy, what we'd call glutinous, and they're just brimming with that unmistakable sweet fragrance of new rice. They're ready to eat, but how you eat them is just as important as how they're made. Before we get to that, though, you should know that He Tai isn't an only child. It's actually part of a big family of rice-based snacks all over the region, and each one has its own unique local personality.
So just take a look at its relatives. In Hakka culture, you've got something similar called lao shu ban, and they usually stir-fry it or put it in soup. Head over to Chaoshan and you'll find jian mi wan boiled in soup. And in nearby Enping, it's got this kind of cute name, go erza, which means puppy years. They all come from the same hand-rolled rice noodle tradition, but Kaiping's version has one crucial non-negotiable difference.
And here it is, while all its cousins might be stir-fried, boiled, or even served later, the one unbreakable rule in Kaiping is that He Tai must be eaten immediately. Piping hot, straight out of the steamer, usually just with a little bit of soy sauce and peanut oil for dipping.
And this rule, this urgency to eat it hot, this brings us to the real soul of the story. Because it's not just about what tastes best, it's about capturing something spiritual. Something that's hidden right there in its name.
So, what's the big deal? Why the rush? Why does it have to be eaten piping hot? What exactly do you lose when it starts to cool down?
The answer is just beautiful. You see, eating it hot is the only way to experience what the locals called heichi. It literally translates to the rice spirit or the breath of the harvest. It's this belief that the true essence, the fragrant energy of the new rice, is carried in the steam, and it just vanishes as the noodle cools.
And this is where it all clicks into place. He Tai also has another name, He Kai. He means the rice paddy, the harvest itself, and Kai means to open or to bloom. So put it together, He Kai literally means the blooming of the harvest. This isn't just a snack. It's a celebration of that exact moment the rice gives its gift to the world.
And this one food plays so many different roles in the community. It's a sacred offering, made from the very first grains of rice to thank the gods for the harvest. It's placed on the table during the Mid-Autumn Festival to honor the full moon. On a more practical level, it was the perfect field ration, a quick burst of carbs for farmers working hard. And,
In leaner times, it was a precious delicacy, something you only got to eat during a festival.
Which brings us right back to where we started. For all the people who have left Kaiping and moved across the world, this incredibly simple food becomes an anchor. It's a real, tangible piece of home that they can carry with them, even in their memory.
When you look at these two images side by side, you see the whole journey. On one side, you have the raw, uncooked noodles, just full of potential. And on the other, the finished dish, warm, steaming, and nourishing. That transformation from one to the other, it's not just about cooking. It's about turning a simple grain into a vessel for love, for identity, and for memory. Because in the end, the craving for He Tai isn't just about the food, it's a longing for a very specific feeling. It's the feeling of security and hope that you see in your mother's eyes when she looks up at the harvest moon, knowing her family is going to be okay, that the year will be a good one. That's the feeling that gets trapped in the steam.
And so, that really just leaves us with one last question. For the people of Kaiping, the flavor of home is the warm, sweet scent of new rice. But what about for you? What flavor, what aroma carries the story of your home?